Afedia Germania Minyama Mae Komri Shishewo Echikwan Semitia Mitimao Semi Wumpami Umao Kosi Sewu Bepwewa Hinimu Fisawa Yebia Mami Merin to me now I say Ura Yesu Afe Defa Me Fa Me Cry Service yourself
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is yet another day, a new day, a bright Sunday, a day that the Lord has made, that we should all be glad and rejoice in it. You don't like this day, which other day would you prefer? It is not that sunny, but we are blessed to have this weather around this time of the year. Today, we bring into your doorsteps from Richmond Media another episode of From the Beginning. One may ask, what is from the beginning? It is life experience. Your life experience will help shape someone that is stuck up there, that doesn't know what to do, how to call himself or herself to get back on his or her normal track that that person is destined to have. Today, our brother, our handsome brother with a big brain, if you know the kind of brain that he's got, you will be shocked. He looks cute, but the brain that he's got, I don't know how to measure it with. But at the end of the day, you will throw my own stone back to me. He's no other person than my own brother, Mr. Yao Okyere.
It's a great pleasure to be on here, and I'm looking forward to just sharing some of my journey and experiences and what I've learned, and hopefully, like you said, someone that's somewhere that may be stuck somewhere will be able to take on some of that experience and what I've learned, and apply it to their own lives, and hopefully, I might be able to just help, even if it's just one person. I think that will make my day. So it's a pleasure to be on here this evening, and I look forward to having a conversation with you.
Thank you. Today's the topic is a journey to becoming an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, we will know what our own brother has been able to establish that is really selling out in the market very quickly. So when we finish, I'm very sure that you will get a link or how the contact, how to get one for yourself that will improve your health as well as your skin and the body as a whole. Brother, brother Yao, I nearly mentioned the other brother's name. Ms. Okyere, you're
Yes,
welcome once again to Richmond Media.
you're welcome.
I know a bit about you, not very much, but the little that even I know, I do appreciate you a lot. Someone out there, whoever is watching us, doesn't know who you are.
Yes.
Is it possible to tell us about you,
Yes,
please?
of
Thank you.
course, of course. So my name is Yao Okyere. I'm 32 years old, young, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Ava Estelle. And essentially, what we do at Ava Estelle is that we like to think that we take care of people's skin. The whole issue is around especially as people of color, as Black people. A lot of the times we have, for example, marks, discoloration, things like eczema, on our skin, rashes that it's a lot of the times we don't like or we don't want it to be there. What the company Everstore does is we provide natural products, natural solutions that is able to help your skin and clear up your skin, even up your skin tone back to what it naturally used should be. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. I'm a married man with two kids, and my parents. So a little bit of a background. My mum, particularly, I think, moved from Ghana to the UK when I was about, I think it was at the age of about 12, 13. So since then, obviously, moved with her, been through the UK education, studied chemical engineering at university. And for the last, since then, what we call a corporate life, I decided to go the other way into entrepreneurship. So I've worked with small companies, what we call startups, or companies that are only just starting, to learn a lot of things around, how to do business, how to start a business. I've tried to start several businesses of my own, but this is the one that's really working, that's picked up. So that's what I've done so far. That's a little bit about me, and hopefully we'll be able to dig into, my background and a resto on this show today.
Thank you so much, Brother George. Now that we know that you studied chemical engineering,
Mhm.
how did you came to that point? Sorry, how did you come to that point? The fact that you were born in Ghana,
Mhm.
which school? Where were you born? How did life begin?
um,
Take you.
so I was born in Ghana. I grew up in Ghana. I went to school in Ghana. So my dad used to work for Cocoa Board, so he used to travel around a lot. So I think we began our journey in Kumasi. And that's where we lived for a while. And because he used to travel a lot, I think he then got transferred to Takoradi. So in the second part of my life, we lived in Takoradi for about 5-6 years. So that's where I started secondary school. So I went to JSS. No, actually not. I went to from class 5 up until JSS 3. Not JSS 3, or maybe just starting around JSS actually, in Takrady, and then my mom moved across. So, but since then, I've always just enjoyed maths and science. So throughout all my education, my strongest points have been maths and science. So I just carried that all the way throughout, my GCSEs here in the UK, A levels as well. So when it got to the time where I had to choose what to study at the university, it was a fight between myself and my mom. My mom wanted me to study medicine, and I don't think I was the most passionate person to try and be a doctor. So I thought, you know what, all right, if I'm not going to be a doctor, and I've studied maths and science all the way through, maybe let's do something that I can use everything that I've studied to good use. So hence the reason why I ended up studying chemical engineering. But funny enough, I actually never really ended up practicing as an engineer. And that's very common in the UK. Most of my engineering classmates, maybe I think about 80% of us, no one went into engineering. I think people just go into it because they're good at maths and science, and then once they get into it, they get exposed to so many different things, right? And your path then leads you somewhere else. Mine led me just to towards just really just being inquisitive about business and how business is run. So that's why I apply the skills. I think particularly here in the UK, a lot of the things we do, they try to teach you how to apply your skills in different settings. Not necessarily you have to do that same particular thing that you studied. So that's been my education background so far, and how my journey, from just studying maths and science to ended up in chemical engineering, and which then becomes very applicable to what I do today. Not necessarily practicing the same thing, but it means that I understand the science behind it, so I can formulate and create the products that we create. So yeah, that's been my journey so far.
Thank you, Mr. Okyere. I want to dig into your life a bit. The
Yes.
reason is someone living somewhere in Takrady
Yes.
think that they might not be able to get to where you are.
Yeah.
I want that person to be proud of themselves, that
Hmm.
it doesn't matter where your beginning is.
Yes.
You can still be who you want to be and what God has designed you to be.
100%.
And you did it. I want your schools to be proud of themselves. I
Yes.
remember when you start for the GCS, is that the one that you had 7 1s or something?
Yes, GCSE. So I
Yeah.
studied my GCSE school was Drayton Manor High School in West London. And I
Mhm.
think I had 7 A's. I think that was one of the very few students to be able to do that. So that was a good time.
I remember that one because I remember I was at church when the free yeah mentioned that
Yeah.
one, so I was there. But your junior schools, which particular school did you attend, please?
So the one I remember is I know Takrady. I was a little bit older, so I remember it very well. So it was called the Rage International School in Takrady. So that's where I studied from I think class 5 onwards. Um, in Kumasi, I think it was, so in Kumasi we lived in Tech, and I think the school I went to, my primary school I went to, is called Infant Jesus International. So that's where I went to school in Kumasi as well. So I remember them very, very well.
Okay. And which school did you do the chemical engineering?
So chemical engineering, I went to university at the University of Warwick, up in the Midlands.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm very, nosy. Sometimes you have to be, else you won't get the actual,
Yes.
message that you want people to hear and to know about.
Yeah.
So, how easy or difficult has life been from childhood?
So I'm not, well, it's probably a mix of both, right? So when you look at, for example, life in Ghana, etc. For many reasons, sometimes people always question, why did you guys even move to the UK, right? Because, like I said, my dad had a good job. He was one of the managers within CocoaBot. So in Ghana, I didn't really know, truth be told, I didn't necessarily at that age anyway. I didn't necessarily experience hardship, so to speak, because I was very young, and I'm pretty sure my parents were, catering to all my needs at the time. Or even if there was hardship, you wouldn't know as a child at that age. But when I really
Yes.
started to notice it, is when we moved to the UK. Because, like I was saying, so when we moved to the UK, it was only my mum that moved initially to start with, because my dad had a good job. It didn't make sense for him to leave what he had and then come to the UK. And I think, as many of us will understand, sometimes you can be in a very high position in Ghana, but that doesn't translate across to the UK, as like your education, your certificates, your work experience doesn't translate across as easily. So he didn't necessarily move over until he retired. So it was very much myself. It was my mum, myself, and my three other siblings. So there's four of us all together in the UK. So when you start thinking about it, whatever great money my dad is earning in Ghana, when you transfer it into pounds, it really doesn't make much of a difference. So it's pretty much like, although my parents are still very, very much close together, I think at some points it felt like we were in a single mother household, because obviously it was mainly my mom here. My dad obviously used to come whenever he could. And I remember there were times where it felt like, there was no one at home, because she had to work multiple jobs in order to, for her to be able to build herself up to where she needs to be. I think I remember very well, when we were doing our GCSEs, she set a goal for herself to be able to buy a house, right? And I remember at the time she would go, and so she was a nurse at the time, so she would do a 12, and I think at the time a lot of their hours were like 12-hour shifts. So she go and do a 12-hour shift in the morning, come back home, literally shower and change, and then go back out and do a night shift again, a 12-hour shift. So she was literally just working sometimes 24-hour shifts around the clock, non-stop, all for our benefits, right? And I think at the time I was also a little bit much older to be able to see it and understand what was going on. So I think that was what really drove my appetite to really, really work hard, because I saw her and the amount of work that she was putting in, and how hard she worked to be able to get us to a certain stage, be able to cater for us, provide a roof over our head, etc. So I really learned a lot from that. Everything that she had to do to overcome whatever challenges that she was going through, just being new in the UK, not really having much family here. So that's a lot of things I saw and then learned, and I think a lot of that hard work, that ethic, stayed with me. And growing up through my journey, I've applied that to a lot of things that I do. So it's not necessarily easy or straightforward, particularly if you want to go into the world of business, for example. Like I said, I have siblings where obviously they went down the more traditional corporate route, and there's nothing wrong with that. But looking at myself, it's almost like, in my career, business is so hard that if you don't throw everything at it, you won't be able to survive, right? So for the first sort of like 8 years of my career, I think there were times where I felt like, I wasn't seeing a lot of success, or things were not moving. But, that level of work ethic and tenacity that I learned was what kept me going to be able to keep pushing on tour. Obviously, we had a breakthrough. So there's been lots of learnings along the journey. Obviously, one that I'm very, very grateful for.
Thank you so much. An entrepreneur, how is life for you in the UK? Are you able to achieve your set targets?
Life at the moment, life is okay. I cannot complain. I've been blessed with a lot. But at the same time, I don't think the UK is a place. So the UK is a place where, if you're really dedicated and you have the work ethic to work hard, you can achieve whatever you put in. But the problem is very, very much that is you get out what you put in, right? And woe betide you if you don't put anything in. There's there's no one to save you, unfortunately. A lot of the times, everyone's going through their own struggles. There's no family members to rely on. There's no one to send you money here or there. So UK is very much, you have to break your back in order to unlock opportunities for you. And as long as you're willing to do that, then there's a lot of things that you can do. The opportunities are here. It just won't necessarily be handed to you on a silver platter. right? I think that's the thing we have to make clear. It's not like the opportunities are not there; they are there. And if you are willing to go after it, and also the world is not fair. Let's not forget that, right? The world is not fair. Sometimes some people will have it slightly easier, or they'll have opportunities that are not available to you. My mom always said to me, just because of the way we look in our skin color, particularly here in the UK, we have to work 3 times as hard to be considered just as good as our peers that don't look like us, right? And that's the one thing you have to bear in mind, that yes, you can have a good life, but you literally have to work 3 times as hard, and work yourself to the bone in order to be able to achieve it. So everything I've achieved today doesn't come easy feat. If you ask my wife, she will tell you there's been moments where everyone's asleep and I'm still up, trying to figure something out. So there's a lot of hard work, and it's not a walk in the path, but it's possible, right? I'm doing it. I'm sure a lot of people are also achieving certain levels of success, but if you speak to them, they will all let how much work that they put in order to achieve what they've achieved in their life so far.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okyere. So, who has been your greatest inspiration and a motivator in life?
So first and foremost, I think I'll probably go back to my mom. I think I probably touched on this a little bit earlier on. And I think for me, it was more so around the work ethic that I picked up from her growing up in the early stages here in the UK. I think I saw her work a lot. I saw her put in, a lot of effort. I think she had some goals that she wanted to achieve. She wanted to set us up in a certain way, and she did everything that she could. Went through a lot of adversity in order to achieve that. And I think, as like I was saying, just seeing the level of work ethic and effort that she put in really inspired and motivated me. But when it comes to the business world, there are few people that I can mention, particularly probably across the US as well. People that are doing something similar in my field. I look up to them a lot in terms of what they've done, particularly just being black as well, and it not necessarily being easy and straightforward. But yeah, I think mainly it will be my mom. I'll credit to my mom in terms of my work ethic and just wanting to achieve great things in life.
Thank you so much. I don't know if within the COVID period,
Mhm.
if you had already started this establishment of Eva Estelle.
No, so it hadn't already started. Funny enough, it started during COVID, right?
Okay.
So because
So,
so go ahead.
no, come out first. You
No,
wanted
no, I
to
was
say.
just saying it started during COVID. So the actual story was, so during COVID, this in the UK, obviously we were all asked to stay at home. No one was supposed to go to work. So, and at the time, I was working for another company. I was working for another new company. We call it like a startup. So, and I think what they were trying to produce was a healthier alternative to energy drinks. So I was part of the formulation team and an operations team. So during the time I was at home, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you get a little bit of an itch of feet. You're at home, you're not doing anything, you want to try something, right? So that's when we actually started this Averestyle idea. So we're during the COVID when everyone was at home, and I went back to my notes. I had already had the idea written down from 4 years ago. I never really had the time to do anything with it. So this was my time that I had a lot of time on my hand to try something new. So we literally just, I reformulated it again. I gave it to a few friends and family to try, and they saw amazing results. So we launched it I think October 2020, towards the back end of COVID, where we were all at home, and that's where it literally picked up from.
Thank you so much. So it hasn't really affected you, maybe moving it from home to office.
No, so like even till today, because we started during COVID, a lot of the people that we hired. So I mean, well, now there's two setups. So we run the production as well. So everyone that is in our production unit obviously still has to come in because we need you in person. But everyone that works, quote unquote, say on the computer, everyone still works from home, right? So we run a hybrid setup, purely because we started during COVID, and obviously at the time no one was in the office, etc. So everyone that we were hiring to help grow the business were all remotes. When I say remote, as in they could be anywhere in the world, mainly at home. So that's the setup that we started with. So we essentially just grew and kept up that. So we haven't really seen a difference because we started during COVID and we just kept at it. So there's no difference for us in terms of maybe it was one way before COVID, and then we had to switch. So we haven't that hasn't affected us because we didn't know what it was like before, right? We just started during COVID. Everyone's working at home, and we just made it work and just expanded and grew from there.
Thank you so much. As a dad,
Yes.
a son,
Hmm.
a husband, and an entrepreneur,
Yes.
how do you balance all these together?
Um, Honestly, there's no such thing as balance, right? The reason why I say that is because especially in the early stages of starting and running the business, that's the time where the business needs your time the most. I think what I'll say is there's seasons instead of balance, right? And you also really very much need, as a family, you need to understand what's important to you and how your setup needs to be. Obviously, not just necessarily me. This also very much involves my wife as well. So we have two kids. We have a son and a daughter. Obviously my wife, and I'll say three kids because the business is one as well, right? So um as a family, you need to sit down, talk about, one, what the business needs, what you need as a family, and be able to set up a dynamic that works for you, right? Sometimes I'm required full on on the business side of things because something is going on. We are launching something that it means that maybe I'm at work for 13, 14 hours a day, where I may not be as present at home as I would like to be. But the luxury part of it is because also says, but then sometimes there'll be a quiet season where I can be at home pretty much all day, maybe take the kids to school. So that's how we balance it, more so around seasons. So there'll be seasons where I'm always there, I'm always available, and then there'll be seasons where they rarely see me. And just due to the nature of what I do and what we do, I think that's probably the way we've found to be able to balance ourselves and the setup that we use. It's never going to be perfect, but something is always going to have to give at some point, particularly if you are in business and you don't really have a structured work life. And sometimes more is required from you than other times as well. So there's great understanding between myself and my wife. I think she understands, the level of work that we that sometimes is required, and vice versa. So I think we find a dynamic that works for us at the moment.
Thank you so much. Before we move on, I would like us to have a commercial break. If you're sending money from UK, US, or wherever you are to Ghana, I recommend one company to you, and that is OAPay. OAPay, as soon as you send the money, your family members, friends receive the money instantly. Is it for feeding? Is it for school fees? Is it for hospital bills? Or are you embarking on any projects that you need money instantly that you don't know what to do? You've tried other companies and they are not helping you. You haven't got any truthful company that you think will be able to send the money as you want it. OAP is available for you. As soon as you send the money through us, we deliver the money. Why don't you try us? It has a good exchange rate, no commission, no hidden charges. What else would you prefer? Download the app from App Store or Google Play, and you'll be able to use it instantly. As soon as you send, your family members receive it. We have a bonus for you. You get £10, €10, $10. Why don't you try us? But before you get this, you have to use a code called RICHMO. Try it today and you see the benefit of using OAP. Your family members will call you to testify about how the service is. Sorry, it looks like the sun is really on me, but we'll try what we can do. Brother Okyere, I'm back to you. Brother George Akon says, watching you live from Ghana in the Volta region. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share this news because it's very important topic, especially if you want to become an entrepreneur. If you want to establish your own business, this is one of the ways that you'll be able to know how our brother got onto the track of becoming an entrepreneur. Or you might not know, you might be able to keep in touch with him, that you might have, maybe, I don't know. He will guide you through what you want to do, or he will advise you. If this is you, please pass the message to someone for us to have the benefits of having our brother here on Richmond Media today. Brother Oche, Mr. Oche, whichever way, the one that comes in, I just give it out. So just bear with me. So what are some of your accomplishments as an entrepreneur?
Well, there's many. When I say there's many, but the key one is this very business that we're running at the moment. Ava Estelle. I think we've been running it for the last 3 years now. This month, October, that we've just actually entered in, will be our third year anniversary, and it's grown, over my imagination, put it that way. I think the Lord has been good in terms of blessed us in terms of how people have received the product. I think for me, the main one is just being able to help people. The products are designed to help people that are typically not comfortable or confident within their skin. Sometimes people are even so shy around what's going on the skin that they don't go out. So I think my daughter Ava just came into the call, but Ava, that is in the call, so I'm gonna need to go and do your hair and I'll come back to you. Okay. All right, just give me 1 minute.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you just get back on track. Sometimes it's not easy when you have the kids around you. No
No,
matter how you try to get yourself away from them, sometimes they just
that's it.
excited to come through. But it's okay, brother. Yeah, you were talking.
Yes, yes. Sorry about that. That's my daughter Ava. Actually, said the company was also named after her. So I was just saying, I think it's more around just being able to help people and the number of people. I think we've sold product to over 200,000 people, for example, right? So all of these people, I think, is a for me, it's a huge accomplishment. Of being able to take the product from zero to over 200,000, selling products to over 200,000 people, and I think that's something that I'm very, very, very proud of.
Thank you so much. That's really great inspiration to take from you. If someone is watching us this afternoon and they want to become like you, or someone is listening to us want to be like you, I always say no one can be like you because you are an individual. Someone can learn something from you to become who that person wants to become because that person cannot come through Mama Tess and Mr. Okyere to bring that person. Even if they come through them, they will not be papaya. So, what advice would you give it to, or what ways, what program do you think the person should study? Though you were able to study chemical engineering, but that is not the way that you path your ways to. But how can that person, what channel can the person pass to be where you are, even if the person doesn't want to go into chemical engineering? Thank you.
Yes, of course. I mean, I think in this day and age that we're in, there's a lot of resources online that people can tap into, right? I think times are changing very much away from in olden days, back in the day, where we thought like everything that you needed to do or learn, you need to maybe get a degree for. In this current era of life that we're in, there's a lot of free resources online that you'll be able to tap into. For example, like if you want to tap into things around business, YouTube is a great platform that you can learn so much from for free. So when we look at business is a combination of a lot of things that are all happening. For example, if we look at marketing, right, and there's something we call performance marketing. If you want to run adverts on Facebook, Instagram, you can learn how to do all of that within YouTube. If you even if you want to learn accounting, you can learn that. So I think for me is almost understanding and having the clear vision in terms of what you want to do, and if even if you don't know what you want to do, I encourage you to just to try different things, right? Because you will never know what you like until you've tried something, and offer to just help out somebody free. For example, for me, a lot of what I did in the beginning, that's how I picked up a lot of skills, was I will approach certain business people and be like, oh, I like what you're doing. I'm interested in marketing. I'm learning how to run, Instagram adverts. Can I run it for you for free for 1 month? It gives me a platform and an opportunity to apply the things I'm learning online for free, and then almost like a real life case study, and be able to ask them questions in terms of what my performance is like, and even have them teach me a little bit of things. So even if you're not certain what you want to do, I would say just try things, try a combination of different things to understand what you like and what you don't like. And once you've understood that you want to go into a certain path, it then really just comes down to just hard work and just really just putting your head down. You're not going to have everything available to you, but if you use the resources that you have, there's a lot of them online as well. You'll be able to, for example, break through, and achieve. For example, like the person that's our graphic designer that works for us here in the UK is actually based in Ghana, right? So, he picked up the skills of everything that he needs to do, and in this world, you can have a job based on whatever you are, as long as you have a computer and internet, right? So we are now in the remote world where you shouldn't even only just be looking at your immediate surroundings. As long as you have an internet and a computer, you can connect to anywhere in the world. So I would say be tenacious. There's a lot of free resources online. Just understand what you want to do, pick up the skills, and what really matters is you have the skills and you're able to portray it and show someone that this is what I can do. If you can prove to them and you're competent enough, I'm sure a lot of people will have you.
That is great advice. What are some of the common problems that you have dealt with within your profession
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur? I know definitely it will not be, especially when you are dealing with human beings,
Mhm.
it's not easy. But what are some of the problems that you think you must? Sorry, the sun is really affecting the view, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. Thank you.
No, that's all good. Honestly, I mean, with the problems, I think as part of wanting to run businesses, you have to expect that the problems are going to come. It's part and parcel of the business. So I mean, things like managing finances, managing people. Is your marketing even working? Things to do with your product and your production. I think across all board, the problems do not stop. I think at the moment the nature of my job is I joke with my team, and I call it the nature of my job now is a firefighter, because I wake up and all the problems end up on my desk and I go out there to try and put out fires, right? So the don't think you're gonna be an entrepreneur and start a business for a smooth sailing ride. Once it's up and running, your actual job will be solving problems and putting out fires. So if you're one that thing, I'm gonna start a business and it's gonna be headache free. I'm sure. I think I've got a rude awakening for you. You're probably in for more headaches. So make sure you stack up your paracetamol and water because every day is new problems. But again, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy solving problems. Hence the reason why I probably picked this path as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okyere. My final question will be: a Ghanaian establish your own business or your own company
Mhm.
in the UK. It's not easy as a black person coming up with this idea. What are some of the challenges and strategies that you were able to use that led to your success?
I mean, yeah, you're very much right. It's not easy at all. The problem is just being black in the UK on the Queensland, well, the King now on the King's land, is that a lot of the times you are discredited for what you're doing and for what you know. People just don't believe that you're capable, right? That's one of the problems I go through. Well, that's one of the challenges I face on a day-to-day basis, especially when you're doing business. Sometimes you have to deal with, our folks from their motherland, I suppose, and there is a stigma, there's a stereotype around black people, right? And there is no expectation that black people can do well, right? So obviously, for example, when I maybe for example when I'm joining a new bank and they don't know who I am but they know about the company and I get on a call with them, they're always very, very surprised that they're speaking to a black person. Sometimes it means that there is doors that you have to kick down. Unfortunately, you have to prove yourself so many times. Sometimes it gets draining, but that's just the nature of it, right? There's a lot of stereotypes that has been built around the nature of black people that we're not capable of doing great things. But I mean, what I say is, I mean, that's absolutely not true because there's so many examples that we can point to, that show that we're also just as smart. We know what we were doing and we can do great things when we put our mind to it. So I think for me, although the challenges are there, I like not to dwell on it. I think, I point back to the thing my mum said to me growing up is, as a black person in the UK, Ghanaian, Nigerian, it doesn't really matter. They see you all as one, right? As a black person in the UK, you have to work 3 times as hard to be considered just as good as your fellow white folk. So if you know that and you know that's just the name of the game that you have to play, obviously we try to change the system and prove people wrong, but I think that will take a long time. So if you know that's the game you're playing, then you roll up your sleeves and get to work because you've got a lot of people to prove wrong, unfortunately.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okyere. Some of them may pronounce this as Mr. Okyere. Yes, Mr. Okyere. Thank you so much. It's been a great day to have you here. If someone is watching us and that person is very interested in joining your company
Yeah.
or wants to buy some of your products,
Mhm.
it's quite unfortunate that we don't have some of the products here. Then we could have show you have you have a sample with you. You have something.
I might have a no, but I'll just give you the website link. I'll give them
That's
the
fine.
website address
So would
because we
you
put everything online anyway. All our products you can get it from the
okay?
website. Yeah.
Would you be able to um put your contacts
Mhm.
out there so people will be able to reach out if they want some of the products or if they want to join your company? Thank you.
Yes, of course, of course. So, the company is called Ava Estelle, and the website is avaestelle.com. So just spelling it out for you. So that will be AVAESTELL.com. So on avaestelle.com, everything will be there. How to contact us. It will show you the products you need. If you're not sure what you need, our customer service team work 24/7 around the clock because we have quite a big business in the US as well. So there's always someone on there to respond to your needs. I think we have a live chat that they will be able to respond to you if you're not sure which product is going to work for you. So averestyle.com will give you the whole suite of products that we have, and you'll be able to get in touch from the website as well.
Okay, so if someone is watching us from Ghana as well, how possible is the person able to reach out? Definitely, it will be the same contact, but how would you be able to get it over to the people in Africa and other countries?
So at the
Because
moment,
you only mentioned UK and the US. That's why I'm asking you this question.
yes, yes. So UK and the US are our 2 biggest markets, but we ship worldwide as well. So in Ghana, we use DHL to ship to Ghana. So as we've shipped to over 50 countries at the moment. So you should be able to, if you're based in Ghana. Unfortunately, we don't have a store or a presence in Ghana just yet. But if you have the ability to buy online, you can just buy on our website and we will ship it to you.
But in the future, as a Ghanaian, I'll
Yes.
be the advocate for Ghanaian community. Yes, as a Ghanaian, we are looking forward to have a store, a shop,
Oh, it's coming, don't
somewhere that we
worry.
will be able to reach. It's very, very handy.
Yes,
That
that
is what
is.
we are looking for. Once you are our products,
Yeah.
we expect you to establish some of your products on our land.
Amen. It's coming. So that's something that we're working on. So guys, look out for it. When it happens, I'll probably come back on here to let you all know what the story.
That would be great. You mentioned that at the moment you ship the product to about 50 countries.
Yes.
Please, is it possible to name these countries or
All
some of
50
them?
of them. To be honest, so
If
we
not all the 50, some of them, the ones that you think just
yeah,
can.
so mainly obviously we are UK based, so UK is our home country, but very much US as well. So we have another warehouse in the US, so UK, US. So all of Europe, we can ship to all of the European countries. So that's pretty much almost a lot of countries already. All of North America countries as well. So if you're US, Canada, we'll be able to ship to you. We ship to the Caribbeans. We ship to Ghana, Nigeria. and most African countries as well. So to be honest, we can ship almost anywhere as long as you are not in a quote unquote war zone, and that's not because of us, that's because of the shipping companies, right? So if you're in a war zone, they won't be able to, and sometimes some companies have embargoes. For example, we won't be able to ship to Russia because they've put a block on all shipping going to Russia and Ukraine, for example. So those we can't dictate, because we rely on a shipping company to be able to do it, because we don't do the shipping ourselves. We produce the company, and we rely on our shipping partners. But to be honest, we can ship to most countries around the world, essentially because we have partnerships with different shipping companies that we work with. But I mean, most places that you can think about, really, where most people will be, you can probably get it if you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, Germany, Amsterdam, Germany, Holland, France, you should be able to get it as well. Italy, Spain, all of those areas, we ship there all the time. If you are in North America, US, Canada, you should be able to get it as well.
Nana, you have a comment here. Let me read out to you.
Of course.
From Nana Jua Asifa says, "This is a good product. I have purchased it before." Nana Jua continued to say that lovely customer service, which is very important. And I have the scrub, the maggots, and the winter cream.
Well, she knows
Nana
the
Jua
product exact name.
yeah,
Thank you,
it
Nana.
says, "Well done, Yao."
Thank you.
Thank you, Nana, for joining us this afternoon. And we are, anyway, we're looking forward in the future to see how you can support Richmond Media as we move on, we journey through the future progress.
It'll be my pleasure.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. It's really great to have you this afternoon. To our viewers and listeners, it has really been a great day, a journey to becoming an entrepreneur. And indeed, Nana, Papa Yao, sorry, Papa Yao has been able to, I can't hide that name. You just have to. Papa Yao has been able
know me
to.
outside of my professional life.
Exactly. Has been able to tell us where life started from way back in Ghana.
Yeah.
He did not end his life. When he came to the UK, he did not become a born again Ghanaian. That is very important and crucial.
Yeah.
He humbled himself. He studied hard. He achieved 7 A's in his GCSE. Continued from there to University of
Warwick. Yeah.
Warwick.
Yeah.
Came out as a chemical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He did not leave it there. It's something that he has it at the back of his life. Though he's not practicing it at the moment, but to become an engineer is not an easy job.
Yeah.
After that, he tried because he wanted to establish something by himself, to become an entrepreneur. He tried so many things, but the Lord has been faithful to him to bring out Eva Estelle.
Yes.
You don't know what you will also be able to bring out in the future if you study or you follow Yao Okyere's steps. It might not be you, it might be your daughter, your son, or even your friend, that you use Yao's experience as an example to them, for them to understand that when we bring you or you come over from wherever you are coming from, whichever background that you have, when you come to the UK, you don't only go to the clubs and do unnecessary things. Even if you are clubbing, you will still focus.
Yes.
To achieve what you want to become, to achieve what your family is supporting you with, to achieve what you yourself, you are persevering to become. Today is a great story. Eva Estelle is not coming from any white person, but a black man, a young man, as our brother here. He is 31, 32 years old.
Yes.
And an entrepreneur. You would say he is a small boy. He's not a small boy because he's got this big brain. Let's follow his steps. Follow his steps to become what God wants us to become. I know how proud his family is just because of him. Would you make your mom and your dad proud of you as well? Or even the community that you are living in? Or would you make your country, your birth country as a Ghanaian, as a Ghana, the motherland, proud of you? Or as a Nigerian, wherever you are coming from, be productive to your community, and your community will be proud of you. Nana, we are very sorry. Papa, we are very grateful for you to come to Richmond Media. Do you have any last word that you want to give to our viewers and our listeners before we finish?
Yes, of course, and obviously, I just want to say a big thank you to Richmond Media for having me on here today. It's always a pleasure to be able to share my story, my upbringing, where I came from, and to be also and just inspire others with just the work that we're doing. I think for me, someone else was able to inspire me. I watched someone else's journey. So for others growing up and coming up, it means a lot to me if they're able to also see what I'm doing and feel inspired to be able to put in the work to achieve what I believe everybody's capable of. I think my message is obviously like, we can all do it. I think the same thing I said to myself. If I saw someone else that looked like me do it, I can do it, and therefore I went out to do it. So if you're listening today, obviously, or maybe later on, and you're seeing Abraham Soul or you're seeing me do this, obviously, it didn't come easy. It comes from a lot of hard work, but I also believe that you can also do it. So don't doubt yourself. Push for it, and I'm sure you see the success out of it.
Thank you so much, Nana. I have a very important message from our brother Gavin Price. He says there needs to be a major PR push to disseminate these educational and inspiring stories out to the public. Brother Akon George says, nice speech. Brother Akon continued to say that I know my boss is thinking on how to assist Richmond Media by sponsoring some of the programs. Senior, how do you see this statement? Nana, sorry, up here, that is to you. Brother George Akon is talking to you. So, as you ponder over this or these messages that have come to your doorsteps, my doorsteps, and to the doorsteps of our viewers and listeners, we say a very good evening to everyone who has made it possible to join us on this beautiful platform. Today, the story has been very, very, very inspirational, and I hope even if we are not able to watch it at the moment, later we will all watch it to take something out of it so that you can change your own lifestyle to suit your future. Sometimes you learn something that you don't want to use that thing. As you get this experience, you might be able to use that to progress for the future purpose, or you can extend it to your family members, your descendants, the children that are behind us to also learn from us. It's from the beginning, a journey to becoming an entrepreneur was today's topic. The same time again from 4 o'clock UK time to 5 o'clock. And you can convert it to other times depending on wherever you are. Before I end, Nanajua Sefa says, wow, we'll keep making Ghana proud. Yeah. Thank you so much. We are very proud of you to have you, for you as a Ghanaian child coming up with this great ideas and great opportunity that you can help the children and their children beyond. To everyone who made it possible to us this afternoon from Richmond Media, we say thank you so much, and may the good Lord continue to bless each and every one as you devote your time for this program. Until then again, my name is Hannah Bima, and my guest was Yao Okyere. Have a good evening. Join us the same time again next week, Sunday. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
Wakumani wajinina na seudo yonku udo unia seua sasa sieni dani butu mipo tutu oku pumumpa insuro